Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Now that Josh is off the phone and we can finally start, we've been waiting on him for like an hour.
Yep, it's typical.
If you saw our door knocking YouTube video, Jay and I were doing all the work while Josh was just, I don't know, talking about fantasy football or something.
I have explained this before. Okay.
Okay.
Everybody knows I have another full-time job that supports me in what I do with the Untamed. So I had to take some business calls.
Business, fantasy football, same thing.
Yeah.
Well, fantasy football's tomorrow, that's for sure. I'll get more excited about it tomorrow when we get to our draft.
Anytime Josh misses seeing something in the stand, it's typically because he's looking at his phone trying to figure out who he's going to play on his fantasy team.
Yeah, I like fantasy football.
I do too. But, I mean, when there's work to be done, I don't pay attention to it.
Well, I got to get my players in.
How'd you do last year in your fantasy league?
We won the Dynasty League.
Who's we?
Me and Jerry got a team in the Dynasty League.
Okay.
Didn't do any good in the other two leagues.
Yeah.
Made the wrong calls. Picked the wrong players.
Okay, so I got you. So
it's just something else to look forward to this fall with hunting season starting.
Yeah, I mean, hunting and football.
Yeah.
Two of my
right.
favorite things.
That's right.
And hunting's going to start about the same time football does.
Yeah.
For us, 8 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go into bear season, guys. We're pretty excited about that. And then right after that, Kentucky season comes in, as we've talked about before. But yeah, we're all really excited because, this is what you prepare for all summer. You talk about, you buy gear, you get ready, but it's coming on us quick. So
We got Jay here with us today.
yeah, it's Jay's first podcast.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
No problem. Glad you could
Glad
actually
you
make
could-
it.
Glad you could join us.
Yeah.
I also have a full-time job that supports my hunting habit. So,
Yeah.
It sounds like an excuse to me. Not just kidding. All right. Well, okay. What's going on with
Us
Yeah.
now, getting ready.
what's going on with everybody's life? What's going on with hunting?
Well,
So-
baseball's winding down, finally. So the kids aren't as busy.
And Jay, before we keep going, guys, just for the record, Josh has already got 2 phone calls since he last hung
Yeah.
up at the beginning.
I'm
So
watching his phone here.
We're watching his
It's-
phone.
It's ridiculous.
Uh,
What's her name?
Yeah. Chase. Yeah, Chase. Yeah.
No, so
Trying to get me
basically,
in trouble.
no. What's going on now is we've been running cameras for over in Ohio and here for deer, and I've actually been looking at trying to do an urban bow hunt. As you guys know, I don't do as much of the bear hunting as these guys do, so early season I concentrate on trying to get in a tree somewhere.
yeah.
So,
Well, we understand, Jay. I mean, we all can't be men.
yeah, anyway.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, he's kind of like, well, I don't really. I
don't bear hunt like you guys.
Oh, to each his own. But, yeah, so I'm looking at doing an urban deer hunt this year, and that season actually opens September 7th. So doing my homework on that, trying to get permission, trying to get the permit, going through that process right now.
And
So,
didn't you? You've already went to one property, and there was already someone's stuff in there, right?
Yes. Yes.
That they probably don't have permission to be in
They
there.
absolutely do not have permission to be in there. So I went, scouted a piece that I have permission to be on, and walking in there, I got excited. I was like, man, this is great. It's a nice little point, and there's 2 tree stands already in there. So I've got some more homework to do.
I mean, do you have any other leads on another urban area to hunt, or are you going to
Yeah.
try to find out whose gear it is?
Yeah, so the next step, I talked to the property owner again yesterday about it, and the next step is to put a sign or note on the stand that just says, hey, unfortunately you don't have permission to be here, and for them to remove that stuff. But I'm also going to start looking at some other areas as well.
And we've looked at that urban hunt. We've talked about it here, but I haven't dove into it. But I figure that it's tough to find property.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially with where the urban hunt is.
Right. Right. So,
But
and
there
the-
have
and the
been people that
process.
have had success with it.
Oh,
and
yeah,
killed
yeah.
some nice velvet bugs.
Yep. Yep. The process to just, get permission, things like that has been a little tedious, but not too bad.
Yeah.
So
I've never done any type of urban hunting before, so I really don't know a whole lot about it other than it's urban.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, really, some of the hunting that we did last year, you could consider urban hunting. It was just right outside of city limits.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't in an urban hunting zone, but I would consider it an urban hunt because it's a different type of hunt. We're hunting close to a road or hunting close to houses, things like that. So it's a little different.
And as far as your approach to it, are you going to be in a stand, or
You have to be in a stand.
just because of the size of the property?
No, it's actually, I read through the laws the other day, and for this urban hunt, you are required to be in a tree stand because I think they don't want, if you're ground hunting
They don't
near
want
houses.
they don't want guys like Josh crawling through yards in his ghillie suit.
Yeah.
Right.
Rainbow, sneaking around, scaring kids.
Right.
Dad,
So-
there's a squatch in our backyard.
Yeah.
He looks like he's trying to kill the dog.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's the reason for
Yeah.
no ground hunters.
Yeah.
To just hop from place to place.
And
Well,
too, like I know what you're saying, the shot angles.
Shot angles, I think
Yeah.
they want everything, going down versus towards a house.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're hunting small blocks of woods.
Right. Right.
That's not very common in West Virginia, but for these urban hunts, that's what you got to do. So,
Right. Right.
well, the only thing going on different for me right now is I got a new truck, as you all know,
Yeah.
which I was excited about. But I normally Kirk would just go and put rims and tires on it or something cool. But I now have a shared bank account with my fiance. And
Stuff will
Kirk's
change.
Kirk's a big boy now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, man, do I buy these new climbing sticks? Do you think she'll notice if I take $500 out of our savings account?
She'll
You know?
notice.
I can assure you
Yeah.
that they will notice.
Yeah, I think she's got some alert on her phone every time. She's like, Kirk, you need to quit spending $5 every morning at the gas station.
You gotta set up the secret account.
There you go. Yeah,
You
that's
gotta
asking
you
for trouble.
You have to have a rainy day fund.
Yeah, that's called cash.
That's exactly right.
You know what I'm
and,
saying?
you got to stash it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because she's trying to get me right now. She's trying to get me to quit eating biscuits every morning, which would probably be better for my health. But like when I run bears, it's like you got to get a biscuit to start the morning off. I mean, it's just I wouldn't feel right out there without a biscuit.
Right.
So,
Right. It's like your monster.
but yeah, I also have to get one of those. It's not a monster. I'm on a Rain energy drink kick right now.
Who got you on that?
Jay did actually.
Yeah.
But I was drinking Bangs before that, and I'm not crazy about the aftertaste. But the Rains are pretty good.
Yeah.
So, well, we've already covered what we're doing, what's going on in life.
Nobody's worried about what I'm doing.
Nah.
Oh,
everybody-
Josh, I gave you the opportunity. Let's hear it.
Just kidding.
Other than talking on the phone, what else is going on in your life?
Not a whole lot. Like Jay said, baseball season has come to an end for us, and working and looking forward to Labor Day weekend with bear season coming in next weekend and get us out in the woods and
Right. And
see if we can't catch some bears after all the training that you all have done. I mean, I've only been able to get out, 7 to 10 times.
yeah,
So I'm really looking forward to bear season coming in.
right.
And then we've just been shooting our bows and getting stuff zeroed in.
Doing a lot of shooting. I shot yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think that all of us, after last year, with the shots that were presented to us, and then some of the shots that we made on the deer, and we've had a bunch of comments from our viewers and followers talking about shot placement. But when you're hunting on the ground, I'm not making excuses for us because we all need to shoot and practice more.
Right.
But when you're on the ground and then you're in the heat of the moment and you've got 3 to 5 seconds to decide whether you're going to shoot or not, and that's what caused some of our not bad shots because they killed deer, but some of our questionable shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I don't think really questionable would be the word for it. I mean, I feel like I would take those shots normally, but I just felt like, for me, and I can't speak for you all, something different last year was we were hunting from the ground, and I really wasn't prepared for that. I was used to tree stand hunting quite a bit. And when you're tree stand hunting or hunting in a ground blind, which I do, both, you're sitting still. The only thing you got to worry about is really your heart rate. But then when we were hunting from the ground, my feet weren't always on a nice platform, or I wasn't sitting in a seat taking a comfortable shot. I was in weird situations, and I might be tired, from trying to get in position to shoot that deer. And it's not like you're waiting on them to come to you. You're either trying to cut them off or make something happen.
Right.
And so that was, for me, an adjustment last year. And this year, I'm going to be more prepared for that. I'm not just shooting in my backyard in the same spot, shooting 20, 30, 40, 50 or
Right.
whatever. I'm getting on, getting on a bank and setting, just getting in awkward positions because, it's
well,
different.
It's totally different hunting on the ground.
Yeah. And I'm kind of in the same boat as Kirk. I'd never really done much spot and stock, other than like hunting elk and stuff in the past, but that's totally different. And you look back to the video of the luckiest shot ever. I took that shot from my knees on a
upslope.
berm.
Yeah. I mean, I never practiced something like that.
Yeah.
But now, like yesterday when I was practicing, I took half the shots from off my knees, just because I'm thinking, all right, who knows what type of situation we're going to be in, hunting from the ground.
Yeah, and a lot of times you're in, if you're just trying to wait them out, you're in just really uncomfortable positions.
Yeah.
Where you're cramping up or.
Yeah.
It's like waiting for that longbeard to come in.
Yeah.
And you don't want to move because you don't know where he's at if you're trying to play cutoff with him.
Right.
And
he's there, and all of a
sudden he's there.
Yeah.
And then you picked out 2 openings that you can shoot when he's coming.
You got to make it happen.
And then he's there, and he's already through the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So now your mind's racing. Hey, I've got to get this shot. I've got to make a shot.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you're hunting on the ground, those situations come up more often than not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with the deer that I think that people question the deer that I killed shooting a frontal shot, and I'll stand by it, and I would take that shot.
I was hoping you'd take that shot
every time.
Yeah.
And what yardage are you comfortable at, Josh, of taking that shot?
A frontal shot?
For me, I can tell you this: I wasn't going to shoot at him when he was crossing that little dirt path. When he was coming towards me. But when he got within 20 yards, I was going to take the shot.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't shoot past 20 yards for a front shot.
Not a frontal.
No.
Yeah.
No. Because I think if he would have stayed out further than that, I think he would have turned and gave me a broadside shot. And to be honest, I'm probably not comfortable taking a frontal shot out past 20 yards. I would wait for the broadside shot. I mean,
but at 13 yards and he's getting ready to go, I was praying you were going to take the shot.
Well, I mean, the week before that, I had those same 2 bucks out in the grass, and I had him at 35 yards.
Right.
And I didn't take the shot.
Was that the morning I was sick and I was filming?
And you were filming from afar.
Yeah.
I had those deer at 35 yards and decided not to take it.
Yeah.
And it was not a good quartering away or broadside, but I could have shot and decided not to.
Yeah.
I think the situation for everybody dictates whether you're going to take the shot.
Right. Yeah, you can't tell. Everybody's abilities are different. That would be like us saying, "Oh, you shouldn't take a 25-yard front-facing shot." Well, that might be different for Levi Morgan.
That's exactly right. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see through our videos in season that even in Ohio, and we were in a stand, and there were several times that I just didn't feel comfortable, and I never took the shot.
Yeah, right? And how close do you think some of those were?
Well, the big 160-inch 10 was 32 yards.
Yeah.
and I just didn't feel comfortable taking it.
Right.
And I know Jay was sitting there going, shoot.
I had a lane.
Yeah, he from the camera
From
view.
the camera view, I had a lane. He didn't with the limbs and stuff. So I'm sitting there like, why aren't you shooting? But
you know, we all try to place the arrow where it's going to kill the animal as fast as possible. Sometimes you get unlucky.
Right. Yeah, because that's absolutely the last thing you want is to hit a deer not good and you know, take a risk of not finding it, obviously, but then, you know, wasting the meat.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, you're going to have mistakes
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah,
And it's not anymore. We're not going to see any more mistakes than anybody else. Obviously, we've shown some mistakes.
yeah. We're not afraid to show it.
No, because it's reality, in my opinion. I think all hunters go through mistakes that they make in the hills.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one thing, guys, that you see different from, you know, some shows, some TV shows, or whatever kind of show it is. You never see them make a mistake. They portray themselves as not screwing up, basically, and that's not what we're about. That's not what we're going to do. Obviously, you're bow hunting. You're going to screw up. You're going to bump deer. You're going to make bad shots, and instead of holding that footage back or whatever, you know, don't get me wrong. We don't post everything that we literally do, just of it, because some of it's just not. It's the ugly side of hunting. I mean, there is an ugly side to it, but we try to be as transparent as possible, and you know, let people know what's really going on. We're not perfectionists. We're not you know, we're not perfect at everything we do.
Yeah,
That's right.
but also show that we can learn from these mistakes.
Yeah.
So one way that we're learning is, you know, we learned that we need to practice some different types of shooting.
Yeah.
Because typically I would go out there, I've got like a range set up in the yard, and I would shoot at, you know, 60, 50, 40, and that's it. But now, and sometimes I'd shoot out of a stand as well, because that's what I was always doing. But now I've adjusted my style of practice to where I'm doing a lot different things as far as shooting uphill, downhill, from a seated or from a kneeling position, things like that, just to try and prepare myself better.
Shooting off your knees is paramount on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that simple. Most of your shots on the ground are going to be from your knees.
Right.
If you're hunkered down.
And also, like, I thought about recording Kirk, like, Mang with my phone and just playing that over and over while I was trying to take a shot too.
It would
That was
it would help you. What they're talking about, if y'all don't know, I got in the habit of it's almost weird, and I don't know why I do it, but I like, you know, obviously the deer to be stopped, which does a few things. At a real close distance, it doesn't hurt you because the deer doesn't have that much time to drop, depending on, you know, how hard a bow you're shooting or whatever. And this year, my setup, I'm shooting, I got a 27-inch draw, and I'm shooting 292 feet per second, which is pretty good out of a hunting setup.
T-Rex arms.
Yeah. Well, I actually have the right draw length, Jay. I'm not 29. I'm 5'7". But
I threw him off track.
you did. You got me all flustered, calling me T-Rex arms.
You were talking about how you had to meh.
Yeah,
every
yeah,
time.
the meh. So, like, I just, and part of it was afraid that the deer is going to keep walking as you shoot. But you just, I mean, I've, like I said, hopefully I've learned. I mean, it was pretty much just like a reaction. It wasn't even I was wanting to do it. I was just like wanting the deer to stop when I was comfortable. And so I would, and that would put a deer on alert. And, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. You can do that, and it does work. But you got to know when and where to do it. And I was trying to do it every time just so that deer would stop.
And it didn't, but you, I guess the question, doing that though, it affected, in my opinion, watching you hunt and film and being with you in that habit, it affected your shooting because it was like you wanted to stop the deer and shoot.
Right.
Quick.
Right.
As soon as as soon as he was done going he was releasing.
Releasing, right, which tells you that I'm not squeezing the trigger and letting it surprise me as it should,
right.
Which is why I've taken the step of shooting a back tension now, because that takes that factor out of it.
Yeah.
it has to, if you, as long as you're shooting it right. Don't get me wrong. I know how to make a back titching go off without squeezing it off. I mean, you just got to bring it back. Anybody that's shot one knows that. But when I'm in my yard practicing, like we talked about, I'm trying to perfect and do the same exact motion every single time. So when I draw back on a deer, it's the same thing, and I'm not, just I'm letting it surprise me as you're pulling a trigger on a gun, as you're doing anything should.
Well, I mean, there was a couple of times we were turkey hunting, and turkeys was coming in and walking, and I thought I was going to hear Mac to stop the turkeys.
That's honestly not a bad idea.
I was worried about the turkey.
Idea.
I'm just kidding.
No, I think before I actually have, try to get them to just to perk up a little bit.
But I think that, I mean, even watching you hunt last year, I mean, I think that there are times that you want to stop the deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think even if that deer, if it's grazing and we're ambushing.
Yeah.
Don't alert it.
Yeah, because it just brings all their senses to a high level.
Right.
And then you're trying to make that shot when it's
right
looking for you.
Yeah. Yeah, but in like a situation I had to use it was Ohio.
Yep.
Because I had one shooting lane. I was in the cameraman stand. I had told Jay prior to that, I said, I have to shoot that. If a deer walks through here along this road, I have to shoot it right there. An hour later, a deer walked through there on that road, and I had to stop it right there.
Yep.
And so it worked there, but
Yeah.
it's not always the case.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but as far as shooting goes and stuff, the better shot you are, the more opportunity you're going to have because the more comfortable you're going to be in those situations. So this year, guys, obviously we're trying to improve our shooting, and by doing that, it's going to give us more opportunity to kill deer.
Yeah.
And so the better shots you are, that's something that I feel like I've neglected in the past just because I was used to taking 20, 30-yard shots, comfortable position.
Right.
And I feel like last year that bit me on the butt because I was out of my comfort zone. But this year I'm going to be more prepared for that. I hope I am. There's no way knowing until you're out there.
Right.
In my opinion, I think most of your shots are going to be 20 to 30 yards.
Yeah.
But there was several times last year with us that if we would have felt more comfortable, we could have shot 40,
More.
45,
Yeah.
50 yards.
Yeah.
And been successful. I mean, and that's why we're shooting so much this year.
But on the ground, unless it's rut, there's a certain time of year when those bucks are just dumb. And you're a little bit able to get those 20 or 30 yards. But from what I saw is it's tough to get in within 20 or 30 yards of a buck that's not, with a doe or just in stupid mode.
Right.
When he's just feeding, that's a tough thing to do is get in range of a mature buck within 30 yards. You got to hope you're set up right with the wind and you can cut him off because, going at him, that's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
And it depends on the scenario, obviously. But last year, I know you all did a ton of mobile hunting in Ohio, and you were using climbers, correct?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yes. Big.
So if you've
loud.
ever hunted with Josh when he's the one hunting, and I was filming, we would start on one end of this big CRP field in our climbers. You'd climb up the tree. You wouldn't be situated right. You'd have a little too much lean to it. Josh climbs back down the tree, climbs back up the tree, has to go to the bathroom, climbs back down the tree. Okay. So it's a constant watching him get up and down out of trees. And then we'll see a big buck on the other side of the CRP, and he'll say, man, we need to get over there.
Need to move.
We need to move. So you pack everything up, you climb down, you put the stands together, you put it on your back, you hump it all the way across to the other side, you climb up, and guess what happens? You see another buck on the other side. So he's like, man, we need to get over there. So it was a constant battle of tearing down, your climber, packing it up, and moving it. So this year, we've decided to get in and try saddle hunting, which is something completely new to me.
Oh, I've never done it. I mean, I've climbed trees.
I've never even had my hands on
but I've never been
saddle.
been in a saddle. But
And the most that I know about is my dad has a setup, and I've gotten a yard about 4 foot off the ground. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we really don't know anything about it other than it looks lightweight, efficient, And, obviously I don't expect it to be as comfortable
No.
as setting in, certain tree stands. Like a climber's pretty comfortable, especially those big summits.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
we
mean, I can
sleep.
sleep all day.
But
sleep
my
in 'em.
gosh, if they're not huge, and you got to find the right trees, and those saddles just open up a world of opportunity as far as picking odd setups that you normally wouldn't be able to hunt in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited about getting the saddles.
Yeah,
I think from our standpoint, it could be scouting, hunting on the ground type of combo, and have the saddle on us, have the lightweight platform, and either lightweight sticks or climbing spikes, and you get into an area that's just that hot sign that you see if you backtrack it, and you can say, man, well, there's no good trees, and then with the saddle, man, you can get in any tree that there is.
Yeah.
You can climb right there. You don't have to go back and get tree stands.
There was multiple times in Ohio last year where we were walking along the edge of a CRP, and it's like you see a really good trail or a rub line, and we're like, man, if there was just a tree here, that didn't have any limbs and was straight, this is where we'd be. But instead we were, 60 to 70 yards on down the tree line because we didn't have a tree.
right.
Now we're gonna get where we want to get.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean just because we're excited about these saddles and everything, it doesn't mean we're not going to be still hunting in tree stands. But, I'm sure in Ohio you all, I'm not sure, I know you all have pre-hung stands.
Yep.
And so when it's appropriate, you'll just go straight to those, because why would you bring something else in and then hang it and then hunt, right, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we're going to use the saddles when it's appropriate to. But I mean, watching, your all's November content out there, it seemed like it was appropriate every day, because you were
Every
running
day.
and gunning all over the place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it just gives you another avenue to approach in your pocket that you don't have to move climbers. Climbers are just big and bulky.
Yeah.
And then you have your preset stands that we always have, but I think it just gives you that other, ammunition
Yeah, another tool.
to
Yeah.
to get you into that opportunity that we always talk about, just finding that opportunity.
Some of the preset stands that we have in Ohio, they're set to where we can see a really long ways. So, like, in my head, my idea is we're going to go in, we're going to hunt those stands first, kind of almost like observing. And if we see, a lot of activity in a certain corner or a certain place, we're going to have the saddles to be able to not have to move a stand. We're just going to get out and go and get in those trees and be ready.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm sure there's going to be a learning curve.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And a comfort curve.
Yeah. Yeah, but hopefully we are going to skip some of that learning curve, because Jared Schaefer, which we've known him before he even started working at Tethered, and that's the saddles we're going to try this year. But he's going to come down and kind of give us a crash course on it, saddle hunting, just because. And you can obviously, there's a ton of good saddle hunting content. There's a saddle hunter Facebook group that I'm in, and I've just read from guys' experiences, what they're doing, what their setup is. But we're hoping to kind of save some of our trouble, and he can show us the shortcuts, because I think I saw him say the other day he's been saddle hunting for 6 years.
That's crazy.
So, but it's even been, it's been around way longer than that. I remember when I was a kid, real young, like 11 or 12, my dad bought his first saddle, and I don't even think he could figure it out. He just sent it back. It was like the Guido's Web or something like that.
They didn't have YouTube back then.
Right. They did, but they didn't have saddle. It was a very, very small community, but companies like Tethered, and other companies, JX3, Trophy Line, which was one of the originals, they're all, starting to really gain traction, and the saddle hunting community is growing because people like that run and gun style hunting. They don't want to walk and, have to hang a big bulky stand every single time, and it just minimizes and makes things easier.
Yeah.
I agree with that, and it just allows you access
Yeah.
into some areas that you don't want to pack
Right.
a full tree stand setup.
Yeah.
And we're already packing enough weight with
Cameras. Yeah.
and you know,
All Josh's snacks.
yeah, my snacks coming from a guy that eats 12 cinnamon rolls in a tree.
Yeah. And his layers too. His layers of
Oh.
clothing.
It's clothing and snacks. That's all you hear is the of wrappers.
I stay warm and full.
At least I take my stuff out and put it in Ziploc bags.
Now, I have noticed when I get real cold, if I eat something, it'll warm me up just a little bit for a while.
There
I'll
you
give
go.
you that, Jay.
Yeah.
But, you know, I know Jay's always prepared. He's always got all the clothes. Like, he did save my butt last year. We were, some of y'all probably seen it, our hog video. We hog hunted. I didn't bring any orange. And I actually don't know. It's a pretty strange regulation. I believe you technically don't need it, but the way we're hunting, everybody's pushing stuff, and they're just shooting at black blobs pretty much because
Yeah.
the hogs are moving when you're shooting at them. It's like at a TV show. You seen that new outdoor TV show? Something like Wild Boar.
Oh, you're talking about the
something.
guys over in Croatia?
Yeah, like
Oh,
I mean, they're just
That's
continuously.
insane.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's wild.
Yeah, it's like that, but, you know, Southern West Virginia rednecks out there. We don't know who's – I mean, we got so lucky last year because we were we were literally trailing hogs. And Trace was like, man, I know an area these hogs normally use. There was a snow on. We went and we were driving and cut a track on the road. So we started walking it out. And where we were walking to, those hogs were bedded. Well, there was guys above us that we had no idea
Didn't know
were
they were
there.
there.
We heard boom. Then we were like, oh, yeah, those are the hogs we're after. Well, then 2 minutes later,
You hear something
here
wrong.
they come. And then, like, those hogs are crazy, though, because some of them don't want to jump up out of their bed until you're on top of them. So, like, they weren't just, like, all of them, like a herd of deer would just, like, all bust out of there. It was, like, 1 minute one would come by, and then another, and then another, and then, like, they just keep popping them out. So, I don't even know how we went from saddle hunting to that, but that was a really fun hunt.
But I did give Kirk some orange that day because I
That's
had
what it was.
extra orange
We went from, okay.
in my bag.
He did. He brought me orange that day, and thank God he did because we were, you know, below guys potentially shooting at our direction. I mean, we
Yeah.
don't know. But like I said, we had no idea they were there.
I gave Josh some extra clothes one day in Ohio when he was shivering.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, who gets cold quicker? Basically, wait. Let me reword that. Who is the tougher out of you two in the cold?
Josh has a little more insulation, so
Ooh.
I would have to.
I think what he said was Josh has more fat.
I have to put more.
I thought he was
on.
referring to your beard, Josh.
That's what I was talking about, man. Your beard.
Daggone.
That was a daggone shot. I was trying to, get them going there, guys, by asking that question, and Jay just bit right on it.
Went right to it. Didn't hesitate.
I honestly don't remember me barring anything off Jay.
Yeah.
Because if I'd put anything of his on, it'd look like a leotard on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say just through my decision making of not wearing a bunch of layers, and I know that I'm going into the tree and I'm going to get cold and I'm just going to have to suck it up. In that aspect, I'd say I handle the cold better because you're better prepared.
Yeah.
Like me, I don't want to go in there and look like Ralphie off Christmas Story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have to shoot your bow.
Yeah. So I know going in that,
I'm always prepared.
I'm probably going to get a little bit cold, but
Yeah.
if I do get cold, I don't get cold very easily. Of course, I've started getting colder as I've got older.
Yeah.
I will tell you that because in the past, I mean, I'd hunt in a sweatshirt and pants. I wouldn't wear any long underwear. Or
that
anything.
one day in the climbers in Ohio last year when the wind was blowing.
Oh, the first day we climbed in, it was like 35. I was shaking the tree.
You were done.
Oh yeah, shaking the tree.
You were done.
But we stayed.
Yeah.
We stayed until it was because that was the evening.
Yeah.
We stayed till dark, but it was absolutely miserable.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I could have shot
Yeah.
if a deer came by that day.
No.
And that's why, too, you hear people say, make sure your bow is set at a really comfortable poundage. Just so for, I guess, instances like that,
What is your set on, Kirk? I'm just curious.
I think like 85.
Whatever.
Jay, I knew what you were asking that for. That's why I was giving you the answer. It said on 65.
Well, I'm same way.
Oh.
I wasn't trying to poke
I mean, if
fun.
you want to arm wrestle right here during this podcast, we can throw down. Hey, I tell you what though, I am terrified of arm wrestling because I've seen those videos of like people snapping their arms, and I broke my right wrist twice and my left wrist twice. So I'm like waiting. I arm wrestle somebody, it could be like compound fracture. Yeah, that ain't my cup of tea.
Well, don't challenge me.
Oh Lord.
Mine's on 68.5.
Yeah.
68.5.
Yep, that's what it pounded out at.
Huh.
And
mine's right at 65. I just feel like that's plenty.
oh, it
but
is
it's
plenty.
comfortable.
Yeah. That's the way I felt. I mean, Chomper's the one that set mine. I didn't even set it. When he was tuning my bow.
Yeah.
He's the one that set it there, and I pulled it back and was like, yeah, that'll work. I mean, if you
Because
can't
it was maxing out at like 72
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
really?
Yeah. And he backed it off to where it would tune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ready to go now. I think we all got our bows tuned up.
Yeah.
I was shooting without mine tuned
except
for a while.
me, I'm still having some issues, but the bow's tuned and shooting, but I've been having some issues, but we're getting them all worked out.
Yeah.
I'll be ready for opener.
Yeah.
Yep, it's gonna be fun. And two guys, I know with our early bear season there, we're going to mix in some different type of content because that season's like a 16-day season, correct?
Yep.
16 or 15 days. Well, like Jay said, he's going to be early
Urban hunting.
urban hunting. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm probably going to be going to Kentucky, but then in the evenings I plan on bear hunting, just like spot and stalk with a rifle. Not every evening because I know I'm going to be tired and I know I got to get videos edited. So when you're trying to hunt almost every day, you got to space your time out a little bit. But also on the 14th, I can't remember if we said it or not in a previous podcast, but I'm going to be filming a Kentucky elk hunt. So that'll be really, really cool with my buddy Mike Asher. He, after 18 years of putting in for Kentucky's elk draw for bow, bull, he has finally drew a tag, and we got some pretty sweet property to hunt.
And he's super pumped.
He's super pumped, and he is he's an elk man. He's killed elk before out west in multiple states, and being from Kentucky, that's not something easy to do. And he's guided in Kentucky for a while now, and it's finally his turn. And that's an expensive tag to draw. I mean, that's like a 40, almost some places, that's about a $40,000 tag, roughly, for a Kentucky elk bull because there's not a lot of tags there, and there's really big bulls.
Yeah. A lot of luck was involved there.
Yeah. Well, he said it's kind of a cool story he was telling me the other day, and I plan on doing a podcast with Mike.
Good story.
He said he was driving, and they actually do the Kentucky elk draw live, and you can watch it on YouTube, and they're doing it. And it was his anniversary, and he was driving. He said they were going down, and they got to the last one, the bull archery tag that he wanted, and it was going through, and there was a guy in front of him. I believe is what he said. It was an Asher in front of him, and so he's like, "Well, I literally have to be the next one, or I didn't get drawn." And then he said Asher popped up on the screen. It said Michael Asher, and he said he came unglued in his car.
I guarantee it.
And
That's awesome.
His biggest bull was 330, and he said he's not going to be picky. He would be obviously happy with anything. I mean, he's got I think 2 weeks to get it done, and so he's happy with whatever. I think he's won something over 300.
Yeah.
We're not going to be extremely picky, but Kentucky has the potential. You could kill a bull in the upper threes, maybe even touch 4.
Yeah.
Which would be wild. And the place we're hunting has that potential.
I wonder what the odds are of drawing. Because I think
I've put in for years.
I think I've put in 6 or 7 years now. So I got a long way to go.
Yeah. I've put in for the last 10 years.
Yeah. Huh.
So.
Well, that's gonna be pretty
That'll be
cool.
awesome though.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one.
And I think I'm actually going to do it as a film style hunt. Originally I wasn't, but that's what I'm leaning towards now, kind of a film, so not like our typical videos where it's just something a little bit different. I thought it would be cool to. We were kind of looking for a film project this year to do, try to do at least one, short film a year. and I think that's going to be it. So
It'll be a good one.
yeah, it's going to be.
It will be exciting.
I've also
I look forward to it.
I've
to
also
seeing
got
if he
some
does.
fall fishing on the books.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, after going and wetting the line there not so long ago, kind of got the bug again
Yeah.
to do some fly fishing. So I called my buddy Ian McQuinn, who I used to fish with all the time, and we've got plans to go to the mountains and do some fly fishing. He'll probably be doing more fishing. I'll be behind the camera, but I'm excited to do that. Hit some spots we used to fish whenever we were younger.
Some Untamed angler videos.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, we are well diversified guys in what we do. We take pride in that. We're not whitetail specialists, bear specialists. We like hunting whatever's in season.
Jacks of all trades, master
Yeah.
of none.
There you go. Hey, that's the way I'd rather be, man. I'm telling you, like if I wouldn't ever started bear hunting, I would have never known what I was missing out on. And it could be the vice versa. If you've only bear hunted, you've never really seriously whitetail hunted.
But see, Jay's had a totally different experience. I mean, not a totally different experience because Jay filmed with us one day, and then he was coming back out to film like a week later.
Yeah.
And he was filming, but ended up we didn't have a shooter.
Yeah,
And I was like, "Hey, dude, you want to shoot it?"
yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'll shoot it." Killed a nice bear. What was it? 4 years, 4 years ago.
It was a while ago.
It was a while ago, and he never kind of took to it.
Right, but part of that probably could be is where you live versus where we hunt.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with having your own dogs.
Yeah.
Because like when you guys are bear hunting, you're hound hunters. So like if it was a bear hunt without hounds, I don't have hounds, I think I'd be more into it.
Yeah.
Or if I owned my own bear dog.
Right.
Like you did. Like
Yeah. Yeah, that for
Kurt
me
got
took it over the edge.
bliss, and it just it took off. Whereas if that's the investment. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
investment. That's what makes you. That's what invests you into it, is having your own dogs and training them and seeing them perform. Because that, to me, that's what hound hunting is about.
Yeah.
So I mean, one day when I'm a little bit older and not as busy, if I get my own bear
Oh, yeah.
hound, I'd say I might be right there with Kirk. But
Yeah.
the first time I went bear hunting, the very first time, was the time that I was filming, and the dog.
All the dog.
And we got to
Road.
get that footage.
The dog,
posted.
the first tree I ever went to was absolutely chaotic. Josh was at the tree first, and he just starts yelling like, get here to Craig. And Craig, I'm with Craig, and we kind of crest over the hill, and we look, and the bear's going up the tree, and a dog has got it and is riding
By the rump.
the bear up the tree.
And he's not like riding it like you would a horse. He's riding it via his mouth. He's
Yeah.
just biting it and holding on to its butt.
So I'm videoing this, and Craig, it's his dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's kind of freaking out.
Yeah.
Like, shoot it, Josh, shoot, because he's worried about his dog, and I mean it was a eye-opening experience to say say the least.
That's never happened since, has it?
No, I mean you can search it online. I mean I've found like maybe a half a dozen videos that the dogs rode the bear up.
Yeah, and that is just extremely uncommon.
And I mean they went 40 foot in the tree, and then the bear just
And
couldn't
the bear
hang
let
on,
go.
And it just like
Yeah.
Which obviously you don't want to happen.
no.
Right.
But I mean that says a lot about those dogs and their will.
Yeah.
That's impressive to me.
It was super impressive to me, and so that was my very first time. And like the second time I went, Josh almost shot me. The bullet like grazed over my boot.
Okay, y'all. I was
So-
worried y'all gonna bring that up.
So-
Please, you gotta elaborate on it. You can't just leave it at that.
So
Well, I'm not even gonna let Jay tell the story because I told him to stay out of my way, and we had the bear bayed up
bear was bayed.
in a big brush pile.
And before we go even further from that, explain for our listeners that don't know anything about bear hunting what bayed up means.
So the dogs caught the bear on the ground, and he got into a corner that he felt comfortable. He backed himself up into this brush pile, and the dogs are just sitting there in front of him, holding him there.
Barking.
They're just bayed up, holding him there. They're not running. So Jay and I take off up the hill.
And I had no idea what I'm running into. This is my first time going into a bayed bear.
Yeah, and I said, you just go over to the side. I said, I'm gonna walk in behind him, and I was just gonna reach through the brush and shoot him with my pistol. And Jay, I keep on looking at Jay, and his eyeballs are as big as pie plates.
Yeah.
And so I'm walking in, and I get maybe 5-6 feet from him.
Yeah.
And I'm getting ready to go through the brush. You know, when you're have a bear like that in that situation, I want to get the gun as close to the bear's head as I can.
Yeah.
I want to reach in, and if I can touch his head with it,
right,
I'm going to.
And the reason why he's saying that, guys, is because there's a lot of dogs going on.
That's right.
It's chaotic.
Pure chaotic.
And you just don't want the dogs to get
shot.
You know, if you put a bad shot and that bear goes berserk, he's going to tear the dogs up.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to kill him stone dead.
Yeah.
So the bear sees Josh.
Yeah.
And reacts and
right at me.
Well, no, he came at me first. He started at me, and then I
moved.
moved.
Wait. Who did he come at first?
At me.
Josh said him. Jay said him.
Listen,
I can see Josh's face right now.
Listen, I move, and when I move, the bear sees me and changes his course right at Josh, and literally just runs right over it.
He hits me in my left leg.
And we're on a hillside.
And I'm 245 pounds.
Yeah.
And
burly boy.
He flops me.
Oh.
Like I'm a kite. Well, in the time that he's coming at me, though, I squeezed 3 rounds off at him, point blank. Of course, I only hit him once.
Yeah.
But he flip-flops me, and I get up, and all my stuff's off of me. I mean, I look like a wreck, and I look at Jay. He's in absolute shock.
I'm in like a fetal position,
yeah,
sucking my thumb by a tree.
Gosh.
And I get up and give a big war cry.
Oh, it was.
So,
I was completely freaked out.
I'm absolutely just elated and excited, that I'm okay. But you get that close to a bear, and it's pretty intense.
Right.
And well, then Jay. And I don't know the truth of it. Jay could have took a rock and scratched his boot.
Negative.
But there was a little groove out there towards the toe of his boot where he said a round hit his boot.
I felt the heat, Kurt.
So I don't know.
Do you still have the boots, Jay?
Yeah, see.
I think I do.
Well, we might have to.
We might have to. I'll look when I get to the house.
But he was away from me at an angle, and I guess when I
he was falling.
I was falling,
yeah,
I tried to put one right in him.
Yeah.
And
the bear literally ran over him.
Yeah.
While he was shooting. It was.
So I guess the caption for this video, and this is going to be, if y'all have watched the video on YouTube or you're listening via podcast and you've made it this far, y'all are going to get to know, because the caption of this video is going to be like, I'm not for sure, so don't hold me to it, but I think it's going to be Jay got shot in the foot.
No, we don't want that.
Why?
How about one of 3 times Josh almost killed Jay?
That's too much. That's too much.
Right.
That's all I hear is how I always try to hurt him, or I've killed him over my driving, or
side by sides, guns.
I did throw him out of the side by side one morning. He wasn't holding on.
Yeah.
You almost ran over me that one time.
Well,
at deer camp.
There's been a lot of instances.
Y'all still got me. You got me hung up on the title, because I take pride in that. Well, I mean, what is it? What
I'm sure you'll come up with something good.
Josh got ran over by a bear.
And I didn't even, after that bear knocked me down, I didn't even get up there. It bayed up again in a mine crack.
And old man killed it.
And old man got up there before I did and got it done.
Yeah.
But all the dogs were okay. I was okay. Jay was okay, although I had to go get him a bottle of milk.
So if you wonder why I don't bear hunt as much, this might be some of the explanation.
Yeah, I mean, it's what happens.
Well, I didn't. No idea, guys. We write down a list of topics we want to talk about, and I'm going to let you know that ran over by a bear, shot in the foot was not part of it. But that's where we're at right now.
Definitely.
Hopefully, y'all were entertained by that little story.
I think that we could do a podcast just on telling stories and
epic bear hunting stories.
Well, just any. I mean, deer hunting, hog hunting.
Yeah.
You know, turkeys really aren't a dangerous animal. I don't know if we've ever made turkey hunting dangerous.
I don't think so.
Or had any bad encounters.
Usually turkey hunting is just when someone's either hunting private, you're hunting it too, and they don't know you're there.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
public land.
Or you're on public land.
You
And,
Yeah.
But no, that bear hunting, it can get scary, you know.
it gets intense. I mean, Chad got ran over one day. We were at the tree.
He was filming that. He got a cell phone video of it.
And it was he and I, and that bear kept on going up the tree and coming out. We'd go to the tree and it'd come out.
Yeah.
And it came out, and he was telling me, I was down the hill with the dogs, and he was telling me, Josh, you better watch. I think he's going to come down the hill this time. And, you know, wherever you put the dogs around the tree, the bear usually goes the other direction.
Yeah.
I said, you better watch. And that bear come out of the tree, looked at Chad, and
Ran him over.
Right.
ran him over and jumped on him.
Man.
And when he rolled over, he just, you know, it hit him, and he was able to land on his back and kick it off of him.
Yeah.
But he was okay. I mean, but those aren't even the instances that, like, we want to try to get close.
Right. Right. But too, when they're bait up like that and stuff, you don't have an option. You know, you got to get in there and get your dogs.
Yeah.
And so you got to get in there and kill the bear. And that's, I mean, that's,
And you have to kill the bear dead.
yeah,
You can't.
no lung shot.
Yeah, you can't shoot a bear in its vitals, because there's going to be 30 to 60 seconds there that he's going to wreak havoc.
Yeah.
And he's going to bite and scratch and pull
Yeah. Anything in his path
That's
until
right.
he runs out of
until he
air.
runs out of oxygen or blood supply. I mean, so you got to kill him stone dead.
Yeah, which is can get pretty intense, as you all heard from that story. And like Josh said, that's a great podcast idea. Maybe get like Craig and, you know, Zach and Chad or Bucky or any of the guys, and just let them sit down and tell some stories.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd have to have a lot of SD cards and stuff to record.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. I think that's going to be a pretty good time to end it. Yeah, that kind of caught me off guard there. I try to keep it
On topic.
here, but we went from Jay's clothing layering to my draw length to there's all kinds of different stuff on this. But that's the Untamed. We're like we said, we like doing it all and as much as we can.
And
Sure.
we like talking about everything.
We love talking about it, and we love hearing from you all. And that's why y'all keep us motivated to do it. So we appreciate it. But I hope y'all enjoyed this podcast. We actually recorded this in Cabela's conference room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
They were
'cause
nice enough to let us do it here.
Yep,
So
we all
thank you.
met up here today, and yeah, good deal, guys. Like I said, hope y'all enjoyed the podcast, and that'll do it for today.